It's a good Sunday morning. Welcome to Church of the Total Man, a church for men. So get a Bible, a cup of coffee, or just sit back and learn from wisdom of the ages. We are in Proverbs chapter 24 today. Be not envious of evil men, nor desire to be with them, for their hearts devise violence, and their lips talk of trouble. There are people that are schemers, aren't they? Always on to their next thing. And you might be impressed with their earning with one of their schemes, books or courses or their latest thing. In the men's community, we deal with that a lot. And we look at them, and people might brag about their money, their cars, their women. And it does appeal to you at certain points in your life. Don't be envious of them. If people aren't leading you to righteousness, pointing to God, you really don't want to be part of it. You don't want to be part of something where people are mocking other people, where people are mocking God. It's better to be alone, right? Remember, better to be on the corner of a roof than in a home with a quarrelsome woman. It's better to be alone and making an honest living than to be around evil people that are scheming all the time and on to their next thing. By wisdom a house is built, and by understanding it is established. How many years have you heard me talk about looking for a woman who is a builder, not a destroyer? By wisdom a house is built. This is why we want to be wise. This is why we want a wise woman, not a foolish woman. This is why we need to be leaders in our families, either as a husband, a boyfriend, or if you are a single, unattached man, to be wise. You are a family unit of one who came from a family. So now you are freed up. If you don't have a wife or a girlfriend, you are freed up to care for people, which is kind of nice. You might be the only one in your parents' lives that can help them, or in a neighbor's life or a friend's life. Maybe your role right now in this world is to be a helper to somebody, to assist somebody, to help someone come in for a landing as they're living out their last days. Maybe that's your role right now. I don't know. Only you would know that. But those are some options, rather than feeling like that you are painted into a corner in your life. By knowledge, the rooms are filled with all precious and pleasant riches. A wise man is full of strength, and a man of knowledge enhances his might. For by wise guidance you can wage your war, and in abundance of counselors there is victory. Boy, there's a lot to unpack there, isn't there? A wise man is full of strength. Strength of mind, strength of body. And you do things that are consistent with building and maintaining that strength. Sitting on the TV, on the couch, watching TV, eating Cheetos, ordering pizza, drinking beer or soda, loading up on carbs, eating junk over and over, day after day, does not make a man strong. A man of knowledge enhances his might. So this hypothetical guy is always improving himself, always enhancing himself. For by wise guidance you can wage your war, and in an abundance of counselors there is victory. Where do you need to wage war in your life? You need an abundance of counselors. You need wisdom coming from all directions. You no longer have a parent, okay? Are there wise people where you work? Are there wise people on the web somewhere? Remember one time we talked about you are the average of the 5 people that you hang out with. People don't hang out with people much anymore, do they? But they watch a lot of people on YouTube and on the web and on their phone. So, is it possible that you are the average of the 5 media producers, content creators that you watch? Do you emulate their attitude? There is victory in an abundance of counselors. Where do you get your counsel from? Where do you get your direction from? Wisdom is too high for a fool. In the gate he does not open his mouth. Wisdom is too high for a fool. Always be seeking wisdom. One of the first things I say when I start Church of the Total Man, here we are in Proverbs chapter 24, I say, get your cup of coffee, get a Bible, or sit back and learn from wisdom of the ages. This wisdom isn't going away. It was valuable thousands of years ago. It will be valuable thousands of years from now. What are you plucking from it? Where are you benefiting from wisdom of the ages here? Some things speak to you. Sometimes all the things speak to you. Sometimes just like one little nugget, leveraged properly, can change your life. But wisdom is too high for a fool to reach. They operate on their emotions. They just react to everything. They respond not to anything at all. Whoever plans to do evil will be called a schemer. The devising of folly is sin, and the scoffer is an abomination to mankind. People who plan evil things, people who plan to make money. In the men's community, there are schemers, and there are naive men that are hurt. Some people call them vulnerable, and they very well might be. After a divorce or a breakup, a man is open to a lot of things when his world has been turned upside down. And that way you can become very vulnerable to people who would take advantage of you and not give you any true peace or true answers. If you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. You train in everything in order to stay strong in a day of adversity. If crap hits the fan in your life, can you handle it mentally, physically, emotionally? Build up your strength. You don't know how strong you are until it's tested. Rescue those who are being taken away to death. Hold back those who are stumbling to the slaughter. There is a literal translation of that. I will talk about a figurative translation. There are those who are in a death or destructive, self-destructive spiral. It is an honorable thing to intervene with a phone call or a visit, getting somebody out of the house. I like to post on social media, the guy sitting alone on his deck, just staring off into space, that picture. And I say, reach out to the man who just went through a divorce or a breakup. Reach out to the man whose life was suddenly changed when a wife or a girlfriend said they no longer want to do this. What does he do? Where does he go? There's a feeling of lostness in so many men. I can see it in their eyes. You hear me talk about being on your purpose. If you make your woman your purpose, she may not be stable. So if she splits, guess what else splits? Your purpose. So never make a woman your purpose. Your purpose, your mission needs to be greater than you. And then she joins you, but she is not the purpose or not the mission. If you say, behold, we did not know this, does not he who weighs the heart perceive it? Does not he who keeps watch over your soul know it? And will he not repay man according to his work? Some people say these words. They go, well, what goes around comes around. Or you might hear people say, well, it all comes back to you. Some people might say it's karma. Some people might say that which you sow, you will also reap. It's all kind of the same. You might not see somebody getting repaid for evil in the short run. In the long run, you don't get away with anything. I don't care what anyone says. I know at points in my life where I thought I got away with things. All you're doing is delaying judgment. So live as transparently and authentically as you can. My son, eat honey, for it is good, and the drippings of the honeycomb are sweet to your taste. Little nutritional advice there. Honey has been called the perfect food, the perfect nutrition. It's healing, it's antifungal, it's antibacterial. It's actually quite magnificent, and it's sweet to the taste. Now, where did that come from? We're talking about all kinds of things here, and then all of a sudden, here's this thing. My son, eat honey, for it is good. Okay, I will. One of the Christmas presents that I bought for somebody this year was a 5-pound jar of honey. I think it was like $54. And that's going to last them many, many months. If you have local honey where you live, what a great gift for yourself and for other people. And when you have local honey made by bees within, I think I read sometime that if the honey that you get is made from bees within a 100-mile radius of where you are, then it can actually help your respiratory system, help you defeat any colds or anything that's coming down the pike. I know when I'm not feeling well, I will make a cup of tea, and I put lemon, a shot of bourbon, and a tablespoon of honey in it. And that's medicine, absolute medicine for if you're not feeling well. So here's some practical stuff here. Eat honey, for it is good. Know that wisdom is such to your soul. If you find it, there will be a future, and your hope will not be cut off. Again, we've been talking for months about wisdom, hanging wisdom around your neck like a necklace, identifying with wisdom, becoming a wise person. I know plenty of people that do not appeal to wisdom. People my age. This is a weird thing, man. There's people in their 60s. If you never sought out wisdom as a young man, if you were foolish as a young man, age does not automatically bring wisdom. Gray hair does not automatically bring wisdom. There's a lot of foolish older men out there as well. They're just tired. Don't let when you look at a guy with gray hair and let's just say like someone that like looks like me, gray hair, they have a deeper voice, they talk with a certain tempo, they might seem wise. They might seem like they have the answers. Don't be impressed with that. Do not be impressed with that. If they were foolish when they were younger and did nothing about it, they're going to be foolish when they're older. Wisdom does not come with age. You actually have to seek wisdom. You need to be a seeker of wisdom. Lie not in wait as a wicked man against the dwelling of the righteous. Do no violence to his home, for the righteous falls 7 times and rises again, but the wicked stumble in times of calamity. The righteous people, the guys who are just making the good choices in life. That's why your life is not characterized by one stupid choice that you've made, one unwise choice. A good life, a righteous life, is a consequence of multiple good choices, just layers of good choices every hour, every single day. And it's never too late to turn your life around, ever. It's never too late. Don't ever let that thought stay in your head that you've blown it and that there's no way you can get yourself out of it. You can always get yourself out of dark times. I remember once talking to my father and asking, what should I do? And it was about a certain situation. And he said, do nothing. Sometimes doing nothing is an answer, and just letting the storm pass. And storms do pass. I've taught you for years, there's two lies that you believe when you're going through a dark time. The first lie is this, is that you're the only one in the world going through it. The second one is that it will never end. Both are false. There's many people who are going through what you're going through, have gone through what you're going through, and it passed. They recovered. The storm went by. But in the midst of it, you feel like your life is being characterized by darkness and by a storm. If you went through a divorce, are going through a divorce, you went through a breakup of some type, man, that just cuts to our soul, doesn't it? Makes us doubt everything. That's hard to deal with as men. Listen, I know guys that can deadlift 400 pounds, but when their wife told them that she didn't want to be married anymore, these men became like children. And I get that. I understand that. We put so much trust in other people in our lives. We build ourselves up. We make ourselves strong. But yet, we are hollow. And we crumble under the slightest provocation, under the slightest challenge. Do not rejoice when your enemy falls, and let not your heart be glad when he stumbles. Boy, that's a hard one, isn't it? I rejoice when my enemies fall. I'm happy to see them fall. I'm happy to see them fail. It's almost as if I'm like cheering for justice, because I couldn't do anything about it. But when I see them fall, I'm just like secretly, yeah, sure, that's great. Don't rejoice when your enemy falls. We're all tempted to do that. Lest the Lord see it and be displeased and turn away his anger from him. When people fail, when people fall, it's usually the consequence of their folly. And it's hard not to gloat a little bit when you see one of your adversaries fall or fail. Maybe do the opposite of what you naturally feel. Rather than being glad and gloating, maybe call them. It's hard, isn't it? Right? Call the person who persecuted you. Reach out to them. Write them a letter. It's very difficult. Sometimes doing the opposite of what you initially feel is the answer. Fret not yourself because of evildoers, and be not envious of the wicked, for the evil man has no future. The lamp of the wicked will be put out. The righteous man does have a future, and it's very bright. It's one of the reasons why you're watching Church of the Total Man, a church for men, is because you seek righteousness, you seek wisdom, which means that you will have a future. My son, fear the Lord and the king, and do not join with those who do otherwise. For disaster will arise suddenly from them, and who knows the ruin that will come from them both. More sayings of the wise. These are also sayings of the wise. Partiality in judging is not good. Whoever says to the wicked, you are in the right, will be cursed by people, abhorred by nations. But those who rebuke the wicked will have delight, and a good blessing will come upon them. Whoever gives an honest answer kisses the lips. How interesting is that? Whoever gives an honest answer kisses the lips. Wasn't there a phrase that says it's better to be slapped by a friend than kissed by an enemy, or something to that effect? Remember that? Or some version of that? Honest answers are like a kiss, like an embrace. Prepare your work outside, get everything ready for yourself in the field, and after, build your house. Everything takes preparation, everything. Be not a witness against your neighbor without cause, and do not deceive with your lips. Real practical advice there. Do not say, I will do to him as he has done to me. I will pay the man back for what he has done. Wow, there's another temptation that we all have to overcome, right? We want to even the score. We want to get back at people. And then, if something happens to that person, we celebrate. We were just told a little while ago, don't celebrate at their downfall. Temptations that we all have to deal with, doesn't matter who you are. I passed by the field of a sluggard, a lazy man, by the vineyard of a man lacking sense, and behold, it was all overgrown with thorns, and the ground was covered with nettles, and its stone wall was broken down. Then I saw and considered it. I looked and received instruction. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come upon you like a robber, and want and need will come upon you like an armed man. Do the work. Put the work in, and your life will be sufficient. You will have what you need. One of your biggest enemies is going to be laziness. Many people are lazy because they procrastinate. They put things off. I've heard in the business world, ready, fire, aim. Like, don't wait till things are perfect before you attack them. Don't wait till the conditions are ideal before you move forward. Sometimes you have to move forward in faith with a business. Sometimes you have to move forward in faith with a side hustle, a side gig. You end up with this thing called the paralysis of analysis, which means that you analyze it so much and it paralyzes you, then you do nothing. It's better to try something and fail than to do nothing at all. That's Proverbs chapter 24 in Church of the Total Man, a church for men. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you on the next CTM.